If you were to be asked which singular food dish is the most synonymous with the city of Cincinnati, the obvious answer would be Cincinnati Chili. And if you were to be asked which local restaurant is most synonymous with this regional delight, most would immediately respond with Skyline Chili. Skyline has been a Cincinnati staple since the 1940s. What exactly makes Cincinnati Chili different and special, you might ask? Well, it is quite different than what most would consider chili con carne, which most of the time consists of chili peppers, meat, tomatoes, and beans. Cincinnati chili bears almost no resemblance to that. This chili is more considered a Mediterranean meat sauce and used as a topping for hot dogs and spaghetti. Cincinnati chili's ingredients usually consist of ground beef, water or stock, tomato paste, and a whole variety of spices such as cinnamon, nutmeg, cumin, and chili powder, amongst others. Some versions, including Skyline's version, are rumored to have hints of dark chocolate as well. Some believe that Skyline invented the concept of Cincinnati chili, but it was actually invented in the 1920s at a restaurant called the Empress. Macedonian immigrant restaurateurs and brothers Tom and John Kirajev invented the concept in hopes of expanding their customer base by tying in their ethnic cooking with American fare. They first started topping their hot dogs, which they referred to as conies, with their chili concoction. Tom eventually developed another dish, modifying a traditional Greek dish and incorporating their chili. This dish eventually became known as chili spaghetti. Through trial and error and considering the feedback of their customers, they tweaked the dishes over the years and implemented suggestions made, such as topping the chili off with some additional items such as cheese and onions, as well as topping the spaghetti with their chili instead of cooking it within the dish. The brothers are also responsible for developing the Waze system, a system that the majority of Cincinnati chili parlors still use to this day as a way to make ordering more efficient. Ordering a two-way would get you just the chili and spaghetti, a three-way adds cheese to the mix, a four-way adds onions to the dish, and a five-way includes beans as well. Skyline founder Nicholas Lambernidis, another Greek immigrant, worked in the kitchen at Empress in the mid-40s. While there, he tinkered with his own family recipes that he brought over from Greece in the 1910s, trying to figure out a way to make his own unique version of Cincinnati-style chili. In 1949, Lambernidis left the Empress to open his very own chili parlor with his three sons, the very first Skyline Chili. The first location was on top of a very steep hill in Cincinnati's Price Hill neighborhood. The restaurant overlooked the Cincinnati skyline, which inspired them to have their restaurant named Skyline. The original Skyline was at first met with some resistance in the prominently Roman Catholic neighborhood of Price Hill, but it eventually developed a large and devout following due to the unique food they offered at a wholly affordable price. They opened a second location in 1953, and their growth really accelerated in the 60s. By the end of the century, Skyline had over 130 locations in not only Ohio, but Indiana, Kentucky, and Florida as well. Nicholas Lambernidis passed away in 1964, and he left the growing empire to his sons with one demand: that the recipe he cultivated for the chili wouldn't change in the slightest. They agreed, and when they subsequently sold off the company to an investment firm in the late 90s, there was a legal binding clause that they could not alter the recipe as well. Nicholas knew that the recipe he created for his version of Cincinnati chili was perfect. The Cincinnati population agreed, and this is how Skyline Chili became synonymous with Cincinnati chili. With the majority of Skyline's locations located in the Cincinnati area, you can't travel too far without running into one. The locations have a really nice feeling to them, a cozy hometown diner-like atmosphere. Diners have the choice between booths, tables, and at most locations, counter service. All the food at Skyline is prepared at a centrally located open kitchen prep area, so diners can actually watch their food being made. The locations are mainly sit-down locations with a wait staff, but the food prep is pretty fast and you usually have your food within mere minutes of placing your order. Its continued popularity makes sense since they serve up some of the freshest, fastest, and most inexpensive and delicious food in all of Cincinnati. Their menu includes the original Cincinnati chili staples, the Waze and cheese conies. They've also experimented through the years, working their chili in other menu items such as salads, wraps, burritos, fries, potatoes, and bowls. They also offer up different options for their extraordinary shredded cheese, with both a light version and an extreme habanero version. The cheese is usually thrown on top of the dish as fresh, but can also be melted upon request. My go-to order at Skyline is 2 cheese conies with the extreme habanero cheese and an order of cheese fries with the same cheese but melted. The cheese Skyline uses is freshly shredded throughout the day and it is outstanding. They sell it at local grocery stores in the area and I find myself buying it all the time. It just makes anything better. The extreme habanero version they offer is perfect for anyone looking for an extra kick. The chili and cheese combination on the conies is delicious, as are the onions and the mustard they come with as well. The flavor combination turns your regular boring hot dog into something really special. All Skyline locations and most Cincinnati chili parlors always have oyster crackers available right when you sit down. Some people add the crackers to their chili. I personally like them as a little appetizer before my meal. Either way, it's always a special little added bonus to enjoy while visiting. Skyline really has grown a great reputation over the years, as has the whole Cincinnati chili concept in general. Culminating in 2013 when the Smithsonian named it one of the 20 most iconic foods in America. Skyline has received many accolades over the years as well, and is the official chili of the Cincinnati Reds and Cyclones, the Columbus Blue Jackets, and the Kings Island Amusement Park. Cincinnatians are said to consume more than 2 million pounds of chili a year, topped with over 850,000 pounds of cheese. That being said, if you're a resident, you more than likely know all about Skyline. But if you're visiting from out of town, I'm sure I won't be the first to tell you to check out this incredible local phenom for yourself at your nearest Skyline Chili.